Welcome everyone this afternoon, and obviously the primary purpose of our meeting today at 5 o'clock has changed since Governor Ivey's new order that came out earlier this morning. But myself and the council felt like it was still important for us to get together for an abbreviated meeting this afternoon, and welcome to everyone who is joining us on a rainy day. I want to thank everybody for their communication that we have received in the last couple of weeks in our community. Speaking for myself, I have received hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of phone calls, text messages, and emails, and I ask everyone to be patient as we get back in touch with you. But thank you for letting us know how you feel. And that's certainly a sign of an invested and passionate community. And so now I ask you to take that same determination and passion, and let's follow the governor's new orders. Soon our children will be returning to school, and soon Auburn students will be arriving back in our community. Soon the marching bands will begin practicing, and our fall sports will begin preparing, and our roadways will be bustling with traffic, and all of these are signs of a healthy Auburn community. The governor has given us a playbook, and now it's our responsibility to follow her lead. Please follow her orders. This is not a moment to overburden our law enforcement, but a time to follow her orders. Many of you have expressed concern that to shop and eat at our local businesses was a safety hazard due to the lack of compliance. I hope now that everyone can enjoy all that Auburn has to offer. We want you to shop with confidence and enjoy everything that makes this community a great place to live. This weekend is the annual sales tax holiday weekend for back to school. Shop, eat, enjoy getting your children ready for the school year. Simply put, Auburn, we can do this. We can follow the path that is before us and participate in most of our life's activities. If we will all follow these orders, then we can all have the assurance that our health care and our well-being will be paramount in the eyes of our fellow citizens. Let's make sure that we are doing all that we can to make Auburn the unique and special and safe community that we all have gotten to experience and are accustomed to. Thank you. At this point in time, I'd like to ask City Manager Jim Buston to go over some particulars in regard to law enforcement and our public safety.
So thank you, Mayor. I sent you all a email earlier today after reviewing the governor's orders, and especially how it affects law enforcement. Because the governor's mask mandate is part of a state health order, it must be enforced as any state health order has been in Alabama. There's Alabama Code 22-2-14 makes it a violation of any state health order. It's a misdemeanor violation. It's punishable by a fine of not less than $25 nor more than $500. And then that is every time that you commit that offense is a separate violation. If the refusal to comply continues, then arrest is a possibility. But per the Attorney General's guidance to law enforcement dated March 27, 2020, when enforcing state health orders, restraint in the criminal enforcement of violations is encouraged and education should be the primary focus. Criminal enforcement should be saved for those situations where a violator has been made aware of the health order and the refusal to comply presents a threat to public health and safety. So as we had intended to do if the city were going to pass an ordinance, we plan to have our law enforcement have a supply of masks that they will have on hand. If they encounter someone that is in violation of the mask ordinance, they will offer them a mask, ask them to comply with the ordinance. We will do everything we can to help our citizens become in compliance with the governor's order. And following the governor's lead and the Attorney General's guidance, we will only be punitive as a very last resort. So I just wanted to reemphasize that from that email I sent you earlier.
Okay, thank you, Jim. Ms. Beth Witten had some deliverables today, some information that was coming from our business community, from the Chamber of Commerce, as well as the downtown merchants. Mayor Pro Tem Witten, would you please provide that report?
Certainly. I'm not going to spend a great deal of time going into the details since you each have a copy of that report. But I think the overall consensus from both downtown merchants and the overall business community represented from the chamber is that they support some education in addition to, now obviously that was given prior to the governor's mandate, but in looking at that, I think it's important that we support and reinforce her mandate with some education as well. So I know that the chamber has been working on some communications to help reinforce the idea that a mask and distancing and washing hands is vital and important to keeping our businesses open. So I know that we'll be seeing some more from the business community as regard to education campaign. And I do also think it's important, even though the governor made the mandate, that we recognize that the business community is very engaged in this as it impacts them greatly. So you should have received both surveys from the downtown merchants and the chamber. And so are there any questions to that information?
Does anybody have any questions related specifically to the Chamber of the Downtown Merchants information from Ms. Witten? Okay.
Stephen, if you could you mute your phone? I'm getting a couple of texts and we're seeing some background noise come from your phone.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Okay, at this time, I wanted to allow any council members, if you had something you'd like to say regarding where we stand right now, please just let me know and we'll call on you, okay? Anyone from the council?
Mayor, if I may.
Sure, Tommy, go ahead.
I'd just like to say I echo what Jim said and Beth said. I appreciate Jim's attitude about the mandate. I think he has the officers pointing in the right direction. I'd like to make it clear I was never opposed to requiring face masks to be worn. However, I was opposed to expecting our police to be in a hard position and try to enforce something that I did not feel like and still not feel like was enforceable. However, I do think the mandate that the governor issues, the governor has that full authority through the state health officer. And I think it's, I would like the council to consider as well, maybe passing a resolution supporting the governor during this trying time she's facing. She's done a great job in leading this state through the entire COVID crisis. And I think we need to support her 100%. And again, I want to emphasize that I think we're on the right track as far as enforcement of the mandate. I think we can enforce it with no problem now, but I do think we have to use common sense when dealing with our citizens. And I have all the faith in the world in our police force, and I know that they'll do it.
Thank you, Tommy. Anyone else?
Yeah, this is Kelly.
Sure, go ahead.
I fully support Chief's recommendation that we issue a city resolution to show first and foremost that we are definitely not anti-mask, but that we are firmly behind the governor's mandate, and that that would be a super way to kick off any kind of informational campaign that y'all would like to pursue. But I think a resolution, if we could do one at the earliest opportunity, it would be a significant milestone indicator for our community.
Thank you, Kelly. Who else would like to speak? Anyone else on the council?
Mayor?
Yeah, Mayor, I'll follow that
Go
up.
ahead, Jay.
Sorry.
No, good.
Tommy and Kelly, we'll just keep snowballing or piggybacking, but I think that's a great opportunity for us as a group to show some support for this mandate. And so, yeah, I would concur with that. And I wanted to mention, you've mentioned your hundreds and hundreds of calls and texts and voicemails, swerving across the yellow line, perhaps in the neighborhood. We've had all sorts of communication on our deliberation, and I appreciate that from everybody, citywide. This obviously has been has shown to be, a pretty and a sensitive subject. And I don't mean that, in a negative connotation, but I appreciate all the feedback. And I just, and not to sound too simplistic, but hope that I know I can count on our constituency and our neighbors to be good neighbors, and some of those on both sides of the fence were passionate about their position, and we're in uncharted territory, and in akin to backing up our enforcement thereof. I hope that we don't. I hope that we can be mindful that we're all doing the best we can as citizens and law enforcement, and hope that we'll be good neighbors and not turn this into an opportunity to, a gotcha moment in the parking lot of a establishment. So let's just keep being good neighbors. I appreciate the feedback, and I agree that I think a resolution in support is a great way to keep moving forward. So.
Thank you, Jay. Great comments. Anyone else?
Mayor, this is Brett.
Sure, go ahead, Brett.
Mayor, I echo, starting from Monday's meeting with Dr. Harris from the EMHC. I'm so thankful that he took time to speak with us and give us some updated information. I'm thankful for Mr. Atkinson at the EMAC as well for providing us, continuing to answer questions when we need it. We've all received, I think I'm up to 300 plus emails. And I'm really appreciative. It's nice to be able to hear from the community and a lot of folks I talked on the phone yesterday to a gentleman. He said, a lot of people focus on politicians in Washington, D.C., but it's really the local elected officials that are really changing my day-to-day life. And I'm glad it seems like everyone's accessible. And it just gave me a spirit of, we don't always agree on everything, but we can talk through and work through our issues. And I hope that we'll come together as a community and continue to battle this virus together as one family. And I'm appreciative of our colleagues for working together on this as well. And just wanted to say, I'm working on getting all those emails answered, working email to email, and I thank everybody that reached out and provided their passion and response as well.
Thank you, Brett. Anyone else?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, this is Bob.
Sure.
I just wanted to share with you a conversation that I had with a constituent in Ward 6, an elderly woman who called me. She and her husband are in their 80s, neither of whom have left their house since February, and they desperately miss their children and their grandchildren, and they didn't see an end in sight to this. And I certainly hope that by having this decision, these people in late in their life are offered some hope that they get to possibly have some exchange with their family members again. And let's just bear that in mind, that there are a lot of people holed up in their homes. And I think this ruling has given a lot of our more vulnerable community a lot of comfort. And in addition to our healthcare workers, I'm very pleased at this result.
Good. Thank you, Bob. Thanks for sharing that story. Anyone else?
Yes, this is Connie Taylor.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm thankful that, we didn't have to, as city council, that we didn't have to go through, I guess, a debate as to whether the ordinance should pass, weighing both sides of the issues. Myself, I also received tons of emails about it. Some people against it, some people was for it. But I'm thankful that the governor stepped up to the plate and resolved an issue that we, as council people, did not have to make that decision. But I also like to say that it would have been a hard decision on my part because I weighed both sides of it. But I'm thankful that I didn't have to actually make the decision at the end. I wanted to also ask a question about the enforcement part of it. I noticed, I think if I read correctly, that this mandate ends, it starts tomorrow at 5 o'clock and it ends on July the 30th. Is that what it say? Jim?
July 31st, yes, the end of July it ends, unless she extends it. It gives her the option to extend it, but right now it's for 15 days from now until the end of July. And then she will let us know if she's going to extend it any further. And I think during her press conference, she made it clear that if the numbers don't start falling, she is very willing to extend it, if not invoke additional orders on us. So, but for right now, it's to the end of July.
Okay. Now, the other question is, in enforcing it, does that mean exactly what does that mean? Because are you enforcing, just say somebody be in the grocery store and they refuse to put on their mask, or if somebody's having just say a gathering at their home and they don't have on masks? I mean, what is this extent of enforcing it? Because I know a lot of people be jogging and they don't have on masks. So, how extensive is the enforcing it? If you understand what I'm saying.
Right. So the order from the governor does give some exceptions. Jogging would be one of them. You are not required if you're doing physical activity like jogging, or even if you're playing baseball. If you are actually participating in the playing of baseball, you don't have to wear one. You would have to wear one if you were a spectator. You would have to wear one if you go into a grocery store. So from the enforcement perspective, we're looking to, hopefully the governor put out these signs that businesses can put up in their window that tells people that there is a statewide mandate for wearing a mask, educates them on that, lets them know that this is happening and that in order to come into the store, you have to have a mask. If anyone refuses to do that and we are called, we will come and we will try to reason with them to let them know that there is a mask ordinance. The governor has stipulated that for the entire state of Alabama. We will give them a mask. We have some disposable surgical masks that we have been purchasing. We'll allow them to wear that mask and go into the store. We'll also allow them, if they don't want to go into the store, to leave. That's their prerogative. But we will, if they, decide that they're going into the store anyway in violation of the order, then we will have to fine them. We'll have to issue a citation.
Okay. And what about, like I said, what about it, how people give parties and stuff at their homes and they are overpopulated with people. So how does that go? I'm talking about in a private setting.
Again, the governor's even on, if you are congregating with more than 10 people and you are not within 6, or you're closer than 6 feet distance, and except for with members of your household, then you are in violation of her order. It doesn't matter where you are. Okay. So if you have a party with 100 people there and they are not wearing masks or they are not maintaining their distance, then that is in violation.
Okay, I just wanted to ask that question so that everybody can understand. Okay, but thank you.
Thank you, Connie. Okay, well, we'll begin to work on a resolution that displays the support of our council to the governor and for her actions. And I appreciate you bringing that up, Chief, and everybody else speaking to that. And we'll begin working on that soon. Jim, to approve that, we have to do that at a regularly called regular meeting, not at a work session, correct?
Correct. And so we will have that prepared for you to vote on at your Tuesday meeting. Okay.
Is there, the only way we could do that sooner is to have a specially called meeting. Is that correct?
Correct.
To approve that. Okay. Would you like to make an announcement about our meeting on Friday?
We will have our packet meeting. Since this will be a Zoom meeting on Friday, I recommend that we have it at noon, if everyone is okay with that.
Everybody okay with that? Nod your head if we can look at you. Are you okay with that on Friday? Okay. All right. We'll do that Friday at noon. Okay.
I may be joining you by phone only on Friday.
Okay. Thank you, Kelly.
Is there any reason we don't have a special meeting to get this resolution out sooner?
Well, it's Wednesday. I'm not sure how long it would take to build this, Jim. I mean, possibly that could happen Monday. I don't know. I have no appreciation for the language we want to put in there.
We could probably have a resolution ready sometime by end of day tomorrow. Everything that we do is we don't just put it together and then put it out. We will put this together. We have to then vet it through legal. We have to vet it through all of the different departments that would have any input into it. And so it takes a little bit of time to do that. It's not something we just want to put out without everyone weighing in on it. So, and then we have to advertise 24 hours.
Meeting.
So probably Monday would be the soonest, and you're going to have a meeting on Tuesday. So it'd be up to you if you want to have a special call meeting on Monday or just do it as part of your meeting on Tuesday.
Okay. All right.
I'm good with Tuesday.
Okay. Hey, to all you council members, I just want you to know I appreciate you. I know that all of you have a lot of things to do, and you've been contacted by a lot of people the last 2 weeks. And I just want you to know I appreciate your work and your diligence and your patience and just helping our community get to this point. So thank you for your service to Auburn. And once again, thank you to our community for communicating so well with us. And we'll move forward now. And I ask everybody to continue to be positive, and let's do the best we can. And let's have a hopeful fall right in front of us. Okay. Everybody have a good night. Bye.